how cool to see that we have, wow, 21% of us speak one language comfortably, 30% two languages, 24% three languages, 12% four languages, 9% five, 3% six. That seems like the most six so far. So that's pretty impressive. Way to go. All right. I will share the results here so you can see. Does everyone see those? Cool. It's pretty interesting. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So here's what our schedule will look like today. Welcome, info from the CEO. We are going to skip a couple of things today just because of new situation, but I will explain shortly. Okay, so hopefully you mean to be at the Techtonica event because that's what this is. And I always like to start by going over our code of conduct. Techtonica is dedicated to providing a safe, inclusive, welcoming, and harassment-free space and experience for all members and guests, regardless of gender identity and expression, sexual orientation, disability, physical appearance, socioeconomic status, body size, ethnicity, nationality, level of experience, age, or religion, or lack thereof. Our code of conduct exists because of that dedication. We do not tolerate harassment in any form, and we prioritize marginalized people's safety over privileged people's comfort. Our full code of conduct can be found at techtonica.org/conduct. So we do have a Techtonica staff member monitoring the chat. It's Talia. So if you do see a problem, please let Talia know and we will take care of it. Okay, so I am Michelle Glauser. Hi, everyone. I'm the founder and CEO of Techtonica. And I always like to start by telling a little bit about my own story. As you can see here, I have always loved computers and was in several clubs, which I was grateful to have the opportunity for, but I didn't really know what careers were out there. And I definitely did not go in the direction of a tech career until 2012. I was working full-time at a startup in San Francisco, and I could barely afford my own rent. And I just kept looking at the engineers and thinking, what they do is so cool, and they make so much more money than I do. How do they do that? So I Googled it, and I found this new coding bootcamp concept, and I ended up attending one and graduating. And within a couple of weeks of graduating, I had a new job and tripled my income. So that was really empowering and amazing, and I couldn't even believe it. And I just really wanted to help get other people into a similar empowering career. So I started doing a lot of community organizing with meetups and Pi Ladies, and even a Google spreadsheet that helped people find resources. And then in 2015, I spearheaded the I Look Like an Engineer ad campaign. And this was so important to me because I felt like there really wasn't a lot of diversity within technical roles at the companies that I was seeing. And there were just so many perspectives missing. So I wanted to help start this conversation. And while this movement did, it didn't really change anyone's lives. And I really wanted to empower beyond just starting that conversation. And I kept thinking people should have that same opportunity. But every time I found a training program similar to the one I'd been to, I saw a lot of barriers. First of all, the cost of them had tripled since I attended. And they required you to have not just any laptop, but the most expensive one. And somehow you still had to pay for your rent while you were attending and paying tuition. I didn't see any that were really safe for parents or for underrepresented people. And finally, most importantly, I knew so many bootcamp grads who were taking 6 months to a year to find a job after graduation. And there wasn't a lot of support from the schools that they graduated from. So I said, I think it's really important that if I were to make a new program, it would include job placement. So that's why I started Techtonica. Basically, we partner with companies in order to offer our tech training. And we do offer stipends and laptops and job placement to local women and non-binary adults with low incomes. For this current cohort, we expanded beyond the Bay Area since it is virtual. And that's the first time we've done that. So you'll get to meet a few people tonight who are not in the Bay Area, which is exciting. Yeah, so our target audience is women and non-binary adults. We do not have an age cutoff like a lot of programs do. I always thought it was interesting to say, oh, we cut off at 25, like a 26-year-old doesn't have potential to learn anymore or something. So we do not have a cutoff, but we do focus on people with low income, so they can't afford those programs, and mostly BIPOC. So in short, the people who are most in danger of displacement and most underrepresented in the tech industry. So we started by offering free workshops. We partnered with computer labs and nonprofit groups, and we offered childcare and lunch. And then we would just help people learn a little bit about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And there was a lot of interest. So we said, great, let's do a full program. And the way that we can make the job placement work is by finding companies that are interested in supporting intersectional diversity to sponsor and cover the cost of the program and then hire the participants. One question we get a lot is, why don't you just take a cut from participant salaries following the program? Yeah, we firmly believe that we need to empower underrepresented people, and that by taking a cut from their salary, we're putting another burden on them when there are already so many. So, and we know that diversity is valuable to companies. So we would rather make sure that companies are putting money where their mouth is. As far as community impact goes, we also firmly believe that if companies invest in junior talent and stop poaching senior talent, they can help alleviate some of that displacement and income disparity. So our application process, it is a long application process, and there's a super long form that needs to be filled out. And I can see some participants kind of smiling or nodding at this. It is very long, but thank you for going the distance. And then we invite them to some front-end workshops, and they get to pair with each other and try out what it's like. And then the people who do well on that, we invite to do a code challenge over a weekend. And the people who do well on that, we invite to pair with us. And then we interview them, and a member of our board interviews them. So it's a long process, but we feel like it's really important to be absolutely sure people are ready to make this career transition, because it really is a big life transition. And we want to make sure that the companies that sponsor are going to get people who are really ready to make that transition. So these are some of the characteristics that we seek in the application process and then seek to strengthen during the program. So this program, one thing that's new, another thing that's new about this cohort is, for the first time, we implemented a prereq. And we have always been open to beginners before. And so we said, how can we have a prereq and be open to beginners? So Leah, who's also on this call and is one of our board members, offered to do some prereq study groups so that beginners could get that introduction before the application. So that means this cohort is starting at a similar level. People have the same background knowledge, which is really great for starting people off on the right foot. So it is 6 months of full-time learning. The last month is kind of customized based on if the participant will be going onto a team that uses Python, for example, and they would need to learn Python, or if they're going into a job search. And we do offer mentors, and then after that, it's 6 months of placement or job search support. So for this current cohort, we have 8 sponsors for 11 participants, and we will be offering that job search support to the 3 that don't get those positions. But we're really excited about those sponsors, and we're going to tell you who they are later tonight. Okay, so the curriculum, it is open source. You can find it on GitHub, And you can see we've had over 250 contributors, which is amazing. I also checked this evening and saw that there are, I think it was 3,300 commits. So it has evolved just like tech has. And we invite anyone who has some technical skills to go in there and contribute and make it better, including the participants. If you see something that you think could be better, go ahead and submit a pull request. Okay, so the program flow. Basically, we have the participants take turns being the day lead, and that means that they run the morning intro and the evening wrap up and kind of just make sure things are working out for the day. And that's a good chance for everyone to learn some leadership skills. So we really love to see how people grow through that. They do have a daily code challenge to really help participants familiarize themselves with this whole expectation that they can just grab a new code challenge and tackle it and discuss it during job interviews. And then there's a whole bunch of learning about new topics. That's what you'll find in the GitHub repo and putting that new knowledge to use. And we do that often in pairs. And then there are a lot of pull requests. So we are using GitHub Classroom for the first time this cohort, and I am really excited about that because that really helps people get used to the Git and GitHub workflow. Okay. Yes, we also have mentors. These are pictures of pre-COVID mentors, obviously. But everything is virtual now, so don't be worried in seeing these. But we love our mentors so much, and they really help the participants feel welcome and safe and like they can do it when they're feeling discouraged. They really help them level up their skills by providing that more senior knowledge. So thank you, mentors. Okay, so that's a little bit about the program. I'm going to turn it over to our partnerships manager, Tiffany Kwok, to tell you about the sponsors. Tiffany.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tiffany. I'm so excited to see everyone here to support our new cohort. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of announce each partner. I get the job of making it public for the first time, which is exciting. But yeah, after each company, I'll ask if anyone wants from that company who wants to share a few words, and if not, we'll move on to the next one. So, so first off, our grant partners. We were awarded 2 grants for this year. First one is from Twitter. I don't believe anyone is here from Twitter, actually, but we will be working with Twitter for good this whole year, and this will be our second year working with them. Then next up, we were also awarded a Community Investment Award from Trevor TCR, which is exciting. Is anyone here from Trevor TCR that would like to say a couple words? All right, we can move on to the next one then. Ah, got it. So, the most exciting part are our hiring sponsors, the advocate, which we call advocate level sponsors. So they will be working with us for the next 6 months, and then we'll be hiring our participants at the end of their training in July. So first up, Indeed. I don't think that is a surprise to anyone who has been following the Techtonica journey. Indeed has sponsored and provided us space pre-COVID. And I didn't see anyone from Indeed on the call, but if anyone is, feel free to chime in and say a couple words.
So I am working at Indeed, and I was a past Techtonica member. So I'm very happy to hear this good news. And yeah, we're trying to build more diversity and I'm so excited that this is going to happen. And yeah, uh, looking forward to work with you all.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Next up is Upstart. This will be our first time working with Upstart, and I believe someone is here from Upstart who would like to share a couple words.
Yes. Hello. Hi, everyone. So my name is Reed Cornish. I'm a recruiting coordinator for Upstart, and I'm just really excited to get this partnership with Techtonica up and running. So for those that don't know, Upstart is a fintech company that aims to provide folks with personal loans using AI technology. So our focus as a company is to reach out to a large consumer base using our technology, including folks from minority groups who may not have had access to credit within the current system. So in my short time working with Techtonica thus far, I've learned that y'all's values align perfectly with what we're trying to do. So I'm just really excited to see where this partnership's going to take us.
Awesome. Thanks, Reed. Reed has been awesome in collaborating with me and getting some volunteering in for this cohort. So we're excited to be working with you all. Next up is MyVest. And I do believe someone from MyVest is here as well.
Yeah, hi, I'm Daniela Gilliam. I'm the Director of People and Culture at MyVest. We are so excited to be here tonight and to be starting this new program partnership with you guys. MyVest has a huge DEI strategy for 2021, and Techtonica is a huge part of that. So one of the things that we just want to say is we're so excited to watch you guys grow over the next 6 months, and really, really excited to be working so closely with you.
Thanks, Daniela. All right. Next up is Stack Overflow. They're all on the East Coast, so I don't think they can make it tonight, but really excited. They will be sponsoring 2 folks from this cohort. And then next up is Instabase. I don't think anyone from Instabase is here either, but we're excited to be partnering with them. Also, they're not listed on here, but Sony and PlayStation will be sponsoring a participant as well. I believe I saw a couple folks from Sony on the call, if you would like to share a couple words.
Yeah, sure. Hi, this is Rajnikant. I'm the Senior Manager QA at PlayStation. My team manages the mobile PS application and myplaystation.com. I'm really excited to be part of this organization. We really value diversity here at Sony, and it actually comes down from the top down. And I think this program will be a great addition to overall the diversity program that we have at Sony. So really excited to partner with you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Raj. All right, next up are our supporter sponsors. So these are non-hiring sponsors, which is equally as exciting. They will be working with us on volunteer opportunities for the next 6 months as well. And we really appreciate all their support. So the first one of the supporter sponsors is Lattice. I don't believe anyone here is from Lattice, so we can move on. Marquetta. I see several folks from Marquetta. If you'd like to share a couple words.
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Ali Algarmi. I'm the Director of Technical Recruiting for Marquetta. I'm joined on the call. I saw Nayeli Martinez and Carmen Vien. Nayeli's one of our senior software engineers, and Carmen is our senior technical recruiter. Marquetta is an Oakland-based pre-IPO fintech. We're proud of our Oakland roots, and we'd love to, help build a better overall represented Marquetta. And what better partnership than kicking something off with Techtonica. Our Women in Tech ERG is really excited about the volunteering opportunities that we'll have over the duration of the cohort, with helping out with mock interviewing and just technical tutoring and helping the cohort. So really excited about the partnership, and thank you for your help thus far, Tiffany. It's been amazing.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Next up is Smug Mug. And is there anyone here from Smug Mug that would like to share a couple words?
Hey y'all, I'm here. My name is Chrissy. I'll just take a minute and don't mind if you hear Minnie Mouse in the background. I'll just say we're super excited to support y'all's awesome mission, and thank you so much for everything you do.
Thanks, Chrissy. Okay, next up is Fitbit. I don't believe anyone is here from Fitbit. So we can move on to Exignite. Is anyone here from Exignite?
Hi, my name is Suchi. I'm here.
Hi, Suchi.
Hi. So yeah, Exignite, we're a market-based, cloud-based market data provider, and we're small, but we're really drawn to Techtonica's vision, and we're really excited to partner with you guys and provide whatever resources and help we can.
Thanks, Suchi. Next up is Palo Alto Networks. And I think the next three, there aren't folks from the company there. So Smart News and then Qualcomm. So those are all of our partnerships for this cohort. And I'll pass the mic back to you, Michelle. Oh yeah, if you wanna get your company involved, you can always email me as well.
Thanks, Tiffany. Okay, so we are moving into the section where you get to know our new cohort. They will be sharing their stories with you, and they each get 1 minute to do so. So let me grab my timer, and we will go in alphabetical order. So, Abby, you are up first.
Hello, my name is Abby, and my academic background is in civil and environmental engineering. I'm interested in tech because I really enjoy problem solving and collaborating with others. It's been hard for me to get into tech because when I was in my first programming course in high school, I really struggled and I didn't have anyone to struggle with. When I went after school for help, I felt that I saw that I was the only one asking for help, so I felt really isolated. So I kind of just turned away from tech and decided that it wasn't for me. In undergrad, I was really pushed out of my comfort zone in terms of what I was capable of, and my previous fixed mindset was no longer serving me, and I had to relearn how to learn. I believe I'll make a good software engineer because I'm excited to work on products that I can make a tangible impact through, applications or services I can provide. I'm drawn to this career because I'm a lifelong learner, and I want to apply what I learn working with nonprofits such as Code for America. I'm excited to be here and blossom into a full stack software engineer with Techtonica. Thank you.
Abby.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for coming. So my name is Adilene. I also go by Addie. I'm originally from East Palo Alto, but I just graduated from Williams College, which is on the East Coast. I'm super passionate about foreign languages and cultures, and for those reasons, I decided to double major in comparative literature and Asian studies. Something that has prevented me from pursuing a career in tech is the fact that I'm a first generation college student, and so I didn't really have the academic or professional guidance from my parents to help me pursue that. But that's exactly why I applied to Techtonica, because the supportive cohort and the mentors and the staff, and I'm really excited to become a software engineer and work on cool products like Duolingo or Google Translate, products that help others connect. Thank you.
Thanks, Abby. Okay, Alex.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. My name is Alex. My pronouns are she, her. My background is in graphic design, but since I moved to United States. I've been working as a server at music venues and doing freelance on the side. I'm interested in tech because I love interactions, and with code you can interact with so many things, including audio and video, which is particularly exciting to me. Recently, I got my associate degree in mobile and web design, and I was hoping to get my junior position as a front-end developer. But through that experience, I realized how much more I needed to learn. So that is why I'm so excited to be a part of Techtonica. And I hope that through that, I can become a better developer and have a skill set necessary to get my first job in tech. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Avery. My pronouns are they, them. I have a background in IT, and one of the most meaningful things that I've learned is that if a user doesn't really understand a solution, then it's not a solution, and we have to find another way. I've worked on the user end side, but I've worked on the user end side, like setting up systems for specific people, or like teaching folks how to use Outlook really efficiently, but I want to flip sides to development side and create things that are more user-friendly from end to end. I'll be a good software engineer because of my IT experiences to help inform my work and be more aware of individual needs and learning style. Due to financial, health, and personal barriers, I couldn't make it into tech before. Now I'm really excited to be here at Techtonica to bring my experiences and learn and collaborate with so many different people as I work towards becoming a full stack engineer. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I want to start by saying thank you all for being here. My name is Brianna Clausen. I use she, her, they, them pronouns, and I was studying computer programming and graphic design at CCSF when I was first introduced to Techtonica. Though I learned fast, as a single mother, I've struggled in the past with financial and housing instability, which has really kept me from building the momentum I needed to get into tech. So I was very excited for this opportunity to advance faster towards my career. I feel that the tech industry, being understandably young, is often too focused on optimization and increasing numbers without fully considering the effects on our community's well-being, education, and unity. That's why I want to drive forward the movement for responsible technologies and that contribute to our lives in healthy ways. Some of my current interests right now include gamified learning and utilizing VR for therapy. There's huge potential to use technology for good and level the playing field for those at a disadvantage in life. I'm eager to work in a career that will allow me to innovate on that front. Thank you.
Thanks, Brianna. All right, Leah.
Hi, I'm Leah. My pronouns are she and her. I'm interested in tech because I felt like a super hacker in the Matrix when I started my journey in the terminal, but I'm motivated as a decade in dentistry has shown me that services are increasingly going digital. It's been hard for me to get into tech because with low income and lack of guidance, my learning priority was how to bring up 2 kids on my own. I'm excited about joining Techtonica as now I'm in a supportive and inclusive environment alongside exceptional professionals with similar backgrounds and goals. I'll make a great software engineer because I'm curious. In my previous field, I was hired to clean tools, but my team player attitude and my curiosity to improve through learning led me to growing and managing multiple dental clinics. In engineering, just like in dentistry, I'll figure out how I can deliver comfortable client experiences as well as workspaces. To the tech community, I'll contribute me, meaning I'll bring this curiosity and care to the creation and resolution process. Thank you.
Thanks, Leah. Mandy.
Hi, I'm Mandy. I go by she, her, or they, them. I've always loved problem solving and making things, and I always wanted a career in art or science, but I was never aware of what my options were. So I spent a year studying chemistry, ultimately feeling unfulfilled in the lab and ostracized for being different. I began a path toward illustration and design, and through it was introduced to web coding. And as I learned more and more about web code, I became more and more racist and wanted to learn new web technologies and trying them out until I didn't know where to go from there. I love how the introduction of tech to any sort of field or industry has a possibility to make it more efficient and has a wide reaching and improving the lives of people from across the globe. I feel there's a lack of empathy and understanding in the tech industry, and I want to be able to bring my background in user-focused design principles and accessibility to software engineering to build solutions for users who need them. Thanks.
Thanks, Mandy. Mia.
Hi everyone, I'm Mia. I go by she, her. So a bit about me, I've always loved math, computer games, and dabbling in web development, but I was raised to believe that Filipinas became nurses, not engineers, so that's what I did. After college, I still wanted to pursue my dream of becoming a software engineer, but I was still discouraged by the imposter syndrome, the lack of a clear roadmap, and the inability to afford the training. In the last 5 years, I've worked as a content moderator, and from there, my love for solving problems in tech has only grown. Today, I'm grateful to say I'm finally on track here at Techtonica. Techtonica set itself apart for me because they aim to help folks like myself who've always had the will, but not always the way. And as a budding engineer, I'm committed to being a lifelong learner, being the representation I needed growing up, and developing the tools that will have a positive impact on the communities that use them. Thank you.
Thanks, Mia. Sophia.
Sophia, the mic.
Oh no, I'm sorry. My name is Sophia Rafat. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I've had an interest in tech since childhood, but I didn't have the access to opportunities that would have illustrated engineering as an option for me. The pandemic hit, I lost my job, and I became interested in computer programming out of necessity. The circumstances moved me to pursue more stability and quality of life for my family. My sisters encouraged me to study JavaScript, and shortly after came Techtonica, and it's changed my life. It reignited my passion for learning and opened a practical pathway for career growth that I thought was unattainable. For me, becoming a software engineer is for the personal fulfillment of becoming skilled in a field that I thought mistakenly wasn't for me. I think the biggest catalyst to personal change is reframing the image you have of yourself and your potential, and I want to pay that forward to other women and Black and Brown people that have similar stories. I look forward to continuing this journey with all the talented individuals in my cohort, and I wish all of us continued success. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Sophia. All right, Taylor. And we have a newer picture for you that we should have put on here, but go ahead.
No worries. Good evening. My name is Taylor and my pronouns are she, her. The bulk of my previous work has been in hospitality and customer service, and I also have a passion for volunteer work, particularly regarding patient advocacy and healthcare reform. In my work experience, I've worked with a lot of different kinds of software for like inventory maintenance, reservation booking, and all kinds of things. And on the user end, there's a lot of things that I've noticed just from like working with them that I see that could be improved. And also a lack of tech and a lot of like volunteer spaces. Biggest obstacle in getting into tech for me has been a lack of time to study independently and also just financial obligations. I'm excited to join Techtonica because I'll be working alongside others with similar career aspirations, and I'll be building a really strong professional network, gaining marketable skills, and I'll be able to like learn to teach others how to advance their careers as well.
Thanks, Taylor. Yingjae.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yingjae. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm originally from Shanghai, China. My background is in business and finance. I started to grow interest in high tech while I was working in a venture capital company where I got lots of opportunities to interact with software engineers and amazing products. But the reason that triggered me to have a career transition into high tech is because of my daughter, who was diagnosed as a special needs child. I feel very motivated to create products with features for people with special needs and disabilities because they are the group that are in great need for high tech products and innovations. I believe one day my work will benefit them, and I want to be a role model for my daughter. Additionally, I can utilize my knowledge in business into my work in high tech, and that would give me a better understanding of products. I'm very excited to be here at Techtonica, and I'm fully prepared to become a software engineer soon in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, EJ. You had lots of time left. Okay, so congrats to the whole cohort. We are so excited to have you. You're going to be amazing. Everyone feel free to unmute yourselves for a second to cheer. Woohoo!
Yay!
Hey.
Yay!
So inspiring. It's awesome.
Cool. Okay. So next we're gonna do a group screenshot. This is a tradition we have with our virtual events. Just so because we usually do this in person, but now we just do it via screenshot. So if you could smile at the camera when I count to 3, let me see. How do I get this working? Just a second. Okay, on 3, everyone smile at the camera. 1, 2, 3. Did it work? I hope it worked. Okay, it looks like it worked. Great. Thank you, everyone. And thank you to all of the sponsors and donors and advocates and mentors and volunteers who have made this possible. We couldn't do it without you. And now we're going to do something we haven't done before that we thought would be fun to try out. So what we're going to do is each person will get a minute to think while we're putting you into breakout rooms. Talia will be taking care of that. So you can start on that now, Talia. And then you will be thinking about how you can help Techtonica's participants succeed. And then in your breakout room, you'll have 10 minutes to get to know each other and brainstorm around this question. I would recommend introducing yourselves with names, pronouns, and what you do or something interesting about you. And then discuss that. And after 10 minutes, we'll come back and each group will share an idea. All right. So the 1 minute is for the introverts among you who need a minute to kind of process first. And we can just sit here with some thinking silence while Talia puts us into those rooms. Thanks, Talia. Great. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. I hope that was kind of a fun exercise. The reason we decided to do that is because usually these are in-person events, and it's like there's a lot of opportunity to mingle with people and to eat whatever we have. So yeah, hopefully that was a fun way to kind of connect a little bit more with people personally in the community. So yeah, I'm just gonna go around. We had 8 groups, I think, although one of the groups might have counted as just this main thing. So was there a group 1? I don't know. Was anyone in group 1? Do you even know what numbers you were in? Okay.
In group one, there was Anthony, Leach, Mandy, Chin, Maya, and Melanie.
Perfect. Do you folks have something you want to share about the brainstorming you did? Don't all go at once.
Okay, this is Melanie. I was part of that group. We learned mostly about Mandy's musical instrument background, and we learned a lot about Carillon bell towers and how they're tuned and their purpose and where you can find one, and should you be interested in one, who to approach to learn how to do one.
Wow, that is so interesting.
We also got to see a kalimba.
Wow.
Yes.
So you never got to the brainstorming part though.
Well, we brainstormed on that. We learned about an interesting musical avocation that most people don't have.
That is wonderful. Thank you for sharing. All right, the next group. Talia, who's in that one? Oh, you're muted, Talia.
Avery, Cadence, Lisa, Sarah, Tiffany. and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Yayoi.
Yeah. All right. What did you all talk about? Maybe no one actually got to the brainstorming part, but that's okay. You can share some interesting takeaway.
We talked about Avery's meme studies, and it was really interesting.
Meme studies. Cool. Okay. Next group 3.
In group 3, Ali, Artem, Daima, Monica, and Raja.
What did you all talk about?
We had kind of a running theme of everybody wanting to offer their technical skills. So offering time like they're volunteering or helping to network, things like that.
Thanks, Daima. Okay, group 4.
Brianna, Chris, Mark, Ross, Sophia, and Yuri.
Leah, you want to pick a random person from that group to share?
Who's the brave soul? I don't want to do that to y'all.
I can go. It's fine.
There we go.
So we didn't really come up with one thing. We just talked to each other and just talked about what we did, and really the main theme was collaboration and support, and really networking is one of the most important things that you can do in this field.
Thanks, Sophia. Group 5.
So we talked about what we did, but we had a lot of input for how we can improve or how we can help Techtonica participants succeed. Pretty much more communication, more engaged involvement from our volunteers, as well as input about industry standards from sponsors, if they could maybe look at our curriculum. And then a good one was exposure to career paths, the different varieties, and possibly shadowing how these are done.
Good summary, Leah. Okay, group 6.
Group 6 was Chrissy, Daniela, George, Leah, Nayeli, and Taylor.
Okay, I thought that was us. So we went over a bunch of different things, something like the possibility of opening up open house workshops for participants to learn more about specific kinds of coding languages. The one that really spoke to me was mentor-mentee meetups about some of the different intersecting fields of tech, because there's so many different kinds of tech and industries that I can bring you in. So for people who are interested in learning more, but don't really know where to start or where exactly they want to end up in their tech career, I think that would be a really useful place to start when they're seeking that first job after the program.
Awesome. Thanks, Taylor. Next group.
Group 7 was Dino, Heidi, Chris, Michael, Pallavi, and Tiffany.
We talked a lot of things. We talked about a lot of different things, and we kind of have a mixture of ideas. I thought was pretty cool. The one was helping the participant with salary negotiation, connecting them with resources that can help unblock while they're in their program. And actually, one of us in the group was already a mentor, and yeah, those are the couple of things that we all talked about.
Thanks, Michael. And I think the final group, group 8, is that right, Leah?
Well, we talked about how, also the salary negotiation, the mock interviews that are very useful, and just understanding, what kind of different types of development jobs are there, and what, what different teams of developers do. And I guess we mentioned something as UX developer, which I never heard about. So it'd be interesting to know, what kind of job duties do they have? So that's it.
Thanks, Alex. All right, so I just want to invite everyone, if you have any other ideas, feel free to add them to the chat. And now we're going to have an inspiring talk by one of our board members. Let me share the slide again. So this is our board member, Chris. And Chris, I will hand it over to you.
Thank you, Michelle. So I'm really, really, really excited to be on the board of Techtonica because I feel like the participants from Techtonica kind of mirrored the journey I had in tech. I was fortunate in that I was able to go to college and I have a degree in history, but what was I going to do with that? And so when I finally started to think about things, I was lucky to have a friend put me in the right direction. They're like, you like logic, I think you would like engineering. You like logic, I think you would like engineering. I basically said F you to this friend for about a year. And then they used my love of art to get me into, to basically get me into web typography. And so I'm looking at CSS and HTML and I'm like, what is this world? And then I find Code Academy and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do the 3-hour course. And after 3 hours, I could actually do things. And then I started going deeper and deeper into it. Now, I was not in the financial situation where I could do a boot camp. I had to work a full-time job and then study my own at night. And I learned from that. At some point, I knew that I needed to switch entirely to focusing on code and projects. So I left my job, very, very scary, did not make much money for a few months to study hard and take projects so I could figure what kind of code I wanted to do. My first job in tech was not easy. I got lucky and the CTO was a former history degree member who converted into tech, and 25 years later, he's a success story. And I was like, cool. And I got really, really lucky, and he saw something of himself in me. Now, was it the best job ever? No, I worked at least 13-hour days. I burned myself out. I'm pretty sure that like I started therapy because of that job. But it gave me the foundation and skills so that I could get the next job. And the next job, I lived in LA, and that was NordstromRack.com. And it was a bigger company. It had great benefits. Oh my God, amazing benefits. Benefits in San Francisco are generally much better than those in LA. But at that point, I was like, oh my God, lots of money and benefits? Heck yes. And I just had the most wonderful time learning and just gelling with this group of human beings. I was at a very, very small company before. There were 7 of us, 3 engineers. Unlike most companies, 2 of the 3 engineers were women, but it was just so different. And I was still so new. And like quite a few of you apprentices were saying, there are so many different parts of software development and engineering that you can choose from. So my first job had been called data engineering, but I did whatever was needed to be done because it's a small startup. When I got hired in a Nordstrom Rack, I was on a data engineering specific team that had 8 individuals dedicated to this. While on that team, I realized, oh crap, I kind of missed the other stuff I was doing. I don't like front end. Data engineering is not my favorite, but I really, really like back end. I like application work. I like requests and payloads and responses. They drive me weirdly. And so my husband ended up having to move to San Francisco for a job. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get that job as a backend engineer. And I got really lucky. I got really, really lucky. I've now had 3 jobs as a backend engineer. I am now a senior software engineer. I'm at such a great company. I work at Lob, which is like automating snail mail, but where they care about people, where they're woke, where like when they say you matter, you matter. And so the moral of my story is it's going to be hard the first few years. It is going to be incredibly hard. Make sure you have a good support system. Talk to your fellow cohort members. It is hard. It will get easier over time, but there will always be hard days. Sometimes to get to the final or that job that like you've always dreamed of, like the job I have now, you have to go through, you have to kiss a lot of frogs before you find the one that turns into your prince. And I definitely did have some bad jobs. There was definitely some environments that were not great, were not very diverse. There were problems, but because I was able to use those situations for what I needed to technically advance, to get better, I could then have multiple options so that now I'm at the place where I choose where I go. And not only do I choose where I go, I actually invest in making sure that there's room for other people like me where I am. And so know that your journeys will be hard. You will cry. Maybe you'll need therapy too. Nothing wrong with that. Make sure you have a friend to call up because there will be those days. Work through it, push through it, support each other. I'm on the Slack as KFlow, the first part of my Twitter. So if you want to speak to me about anything, please reach out. I also have a website where I have a lot of resources for coding newbies because it was hard for me to do it. Because of COVID, I got laid off from a job that I thought was a dream job. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm okay financially. Let me take a month to just like give back. And so I did like 50 mentorship sessions and it was a lot. And so I put a lot of information on my website. I'm now at a job that I like even more than the last one. And I'm like, just so happy to be here. So like, ups and downs, it happens. But know that in the end, what you're working for, it's going to be great. It's not only going to be good for you and your family financially, but professionally, you can get a lot of joy from it. And so on the hard days, I want you to remember there is joy. Maybe you're not doing the right kind of engineering. That's something that like, as you go through the Techtonica program, different people will talk about what you can do. And there's a whole bunch of things out there. For example, Brianna and, I'm sorry, I'm bad with names, in my session talked about they're very interested in like machine learning and AI. And there are so many things out there to explore. So get the basics down and then go explore and see what brings you joy. And that joy will help you to work better, work faster, work harder, and make more money. And the software industry has lots of money. So go get it, ladies and gentlemen, go get it. And that's all I got.
Thanks, Chris. All right, so on that note, I just wanted to open it up, especially to people who graduated from Techtonica. It looks like we have at least 4 of you here, or mentors or people who have volunteered with Techtonica or been involved in some way with Techtonica before, to share either some words of wisdom or / advice or motivation. So who wants to go first?
I was sharing with my small group before, but yes, as Chris said, there are days that everything's gonna break. The code is gonna break. Things that didn't supposed to break are gonna break. And you just have to go with it. And yeah, just keep trying. And then the next day will be better or worse, but eventually it will get better. I graduated from Techtonica on the 2019 cohort, and it was a lot of struggle, but if I did it, I know everyone else can do it.
Thank you. That's so great. Faima?
I was in the same cohort with Yuri. I just want to say lean on each other, technically, interpersonally. Just make sure that you are giving and getting. don't just study by yourself and take the program by yourself. You guys are gonna be rooting for each other when you're looking for your second, third, fourth job. So help each other learn, grow together, and don't just do all the tech stuff, do all the fun stuff too. So if you guys wanna have like a weekend virtual get together or something, you know, make sure that you guys are bonding.
Thanks, Naima.
I can offer up some sort of experience stuff. So we were actually talking in our little group as well a little bit about this, and that I think part of the experience in the Techtonica program is going to be overwhelming, and a lot of different things to learn, and a lot of different things to learn about, where the depth that you could learn about that is near infinite, and there is a near infinite amount of different things that you could dig into. So that's pretty scary and overwhelming at first, but that's also kind of part of the interesting aspect of this career field, is that there's always more things you can learn, and different things and new angles, or things that you don't see and kind of know about at first. So having some of the, just knowing that there's going to be some of those dark areas that you go into, but there's a lot of company there, and hopefully a lot of good support in trying to navigate that. But it ends up really being rewarding in the end, and you kind of learn a lot, and then kind of jump off into some other dark area where you can learn and light things up for yourself a bit more. So it's a roller coaster ride. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot to learn.
I'm going to piggyback off of that. And because there is so much to learn, you'll probably always feel like an imposter. And up to senior devs still feel like an imposter because there's some new technology that's come out and they know nothing about it. And it's totally fine to feel that way. And everybody feels that way. And the more you talk about it, the better it gets. So it's great just to be open and say, I don't get this. And people say, no, you got it just fine. You're doing great. You're doing great. And own that. Own that when people say that, because normally it's true. You're doing better than you think you are.
And to be the positive voice in the room, you know, it gets better and it gets much easier. And you have a lot of control over that. I think making the career switch is a big first step. And the past year has definitely really reinforced that to me. Like, for example, we can work remotely. Like, the minimum requirements that you need to work in a technical field are like very general and very free. And like, I was in the crazy situation this year where my father lost his job, and I still have a brother who's like going to school now. And it was like, I was in the position where it's like, okay, my father like provided for me my whole life, and like there's a situation where maybe he won't be able to provide the same experience for my brother. He might, like, literally they're like, okay, maybe we take him out of college. And I was, you know, in the place to be able to say, you know, like, look, no, don't do that. You know, I got you. And if you're the first one, your family going to college, if you're the first one, like going into a professional field, like you are going to have opportunities which don't just make your life better, but give back to, you know, your family and your community. And even if you feel like very dependent on Techtonica now, if you work hard, there will come a point where you are the Techtonica and you are helping the next generation. But yeah, it gets easier.
George, do you want to say something? I saw that the outline went on your box for some reason.
Oh, well, I just want to remind this cohort that, you know, you're starting something, you're starting your journey in very unusual circumstances. So don't feel like every day needs to be positive, you know, every day needs to be productive. Like, I don't know, I wasn't terribly productive yesterday or the day before, and that's totally fine. You know, we're all living through a pandemic, so keep that in mind. And you know, we're all coming off of most of us anyway, for a lot of you, I'm sure, you know, tense political situations. So just allow yourself those days, and it's okay. You know, if there's certain days you just can't get anything done, that's totally fine.
Thanks, George. Anyone else? All right. Well, we heard lots of inspiring words. I always love hearing the participants' stories. And I just want to thank everyone for joining and showing your support. Even the participants, showing your support to one another is important. So thanks for joining. Feel free to drop your LinkedIn link in the chat. And yeah, I hope you will all stay involved with this cohort. We will have more events showing up on our Eventbrite page. And we do have a Slack where the participants will probably be asking lots of questions in the Tech Help channel. So feel free to join that and ping that channel when you are available to help or to answer whatever questions pop up in there. And thank you so much for all your support. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Bye.
Yay, thank you for doing this.